Miss Willows Regrets is the first time I've got to the end of a CSI episode and I'm in disbelief and emotional, and I'm so impressed with how powerful this episode is. This is the 11th episode of the 12th season. It is the 11th episode that I've ever seen, and initially I won't give any spoilers, but then there are several things that I want to talk about that are massive spoilers, and I have nothing but praise for the episode, but I wasn't sure if I'd end up loving it based on the direction it seemed to be taking, but oh boy, I loved it. So it actually starts off quite interestingly because we actually see the shooting. We see the people being murdered and we see the people who are doing it. And I don't know if that's never happened in CSI before because, as I said, I've only started watching this since season 12 for Ted Danson. And so far, that's the first time in this season it's happened. And I was slightly confused because I thought if we, the viewer, know who did it, if we can see them, where's the real mystery? But there's definitely a mystery. And the episode is all about, well, partly about trying to find out who did it, but we also have a delightful bit of entomology, and it might make you never want to eat chicken wings or chicken thighs. It might have been thighs they were eating. Anyway, it might not make you want to eat some fried chicken in a while, but I found that part of it to be really, really interesting. And we have this gorgeous shot right at the beginning. And it is not a spoiler for something that happens, but it is a spoiler at the end of the first scene for something that I think is magnificent. So at the end of the first scene, one of the victims is shot in the head, and we see the bullet going towards them. And then I won't explain exactly what happens, but we're where the body is left. And we zoom out from the head, and it's amazing and beautiful and so fantastically done that I was just completely in awe. And then the episode went in a direction that I didn't really care about, and for a little while I wasn't finding it very interesting, but the final third completely made up for that. So I'll talk about those in a moment, those parts in a moment. But I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I am desperate to watch the next one. I am very fortunate that I have avoided CSI spoilers, despite the fact that this aired quite a long time ago. I literally have no idea what happens next. I've got no idea what happens to characters in the future, and I love that. I love that it hasn't been spoiled for me in any way, and I'm very desperate to find out. So, brilliant episode, very powerful, really interesting with the entomology, and definitely a well-written narrative. For me personally, didn't think I'd end up loving it. Absolutely did. So there will be spoilers from now. Oh, before I give a spoiler, actually, what I will say is the scene where they're examining the crime scene, absolutely loved that as well. Really, really well done. Okay, so now I will give spoilers about things that I really loved, and I'll also mention why I didn't think I'd enjoy it. But these are spoilers for things that are revealed later on and also for the end. And the reason why I didn't think I'd like it and why I started to not care is that it focuses on Sara's, and I don't care. I still don't care about Sara's, even having watched it. But that doesn't matter. I still really thoroughly enjoyed the episode, but when I realised that's what it was focusing on, I did think this isn't really appealing to me. And I was right, that part of it didn't appeal to me, but there's so much more that I loved it. The scene where they found Lauria, I was in disbelief because I was not expecting her to be alive. I genuinely thought that Catherine would open up the floor and she'd look down and find her body. Did not expect to see her alive. I was amazed. And then we get, well, a little while later, we get the really graphic scene. And as I've mentioned before, I really love the fact that CSI does not shy away from being graphic. When we saw the victims in the car, wow, that is intense. And also a little emotional, as Catherine obviously began to get emotional. And I didn't think much of it. And then she sends the resignation email and we see Russell receiving this, and then we cut to Catherine at home and there is a tremendously loud gunshot that kind of made me jump. CSI doesn't really lean into jump scares, it doesn't need them, but occasionally it happens, and it definitely did then. And I genuinely feared for her, and it made me realise. And I had this experience with a couple of other characters over the last few episodes. It made me realise I'd already built up an emotional connection to Catherine. Obviously, only watching this from season 12, I don't have the long history with various characters, but even this early on, I feared for her. I didn't want anything bad to happen to her. When Russell got her resignation email, I thought that can't be the end of the character. She can't resign. I like her. I know it's early days, but I don't want her to leave, and I got a little bit emotional about that. And then this chaos happened, and then the car drove towards her. I did not expect it to be Russell. And then we end on a to be continued with her with a bullet in her hip or whatever it was, her waist, her abdomen. And I genuinely, I don't know what to expect. And I don't know what I want. I mean, I kind of do. I want her to survive. I want her to keep working there. But at the same time, it would be very dramatic if she didn't, and the drama is good. So I think I'll be happy either way, as long as the story is well told and everything makes sense and the emotions are in the right place. But if I could wave a wand and have it my way, she'll survive and keep working. So we'll see what happens there. Very, very, very excited for the next episode. Still don't care about Ceresus, but absolutely loved Miss Willow's regrets and cannot wait for the next one.